May 18th, 1980. The sun rises over the Cascade Mountain range, illuminating southwestern Washington in its natural spring beauty. It is a peaceful morning, at least until the clocks reach 8:32. A cataclysmic explosion rips through the air as Mount St. Helens wakes up, beginning what will become one of the most memorable and terrifying volcanic events in United States history. 57 dead. 1,300 feet of elevation removed from the mountain. More than 200 homes were destroyed from lahars. An estimated $2 billion in damage was the result of over 27 square miles of debris and 500 million tons of ash throughout the Northwest and beyond. Hundreds of thousands of trees were destroyed in the lateral blast, which traveled more than 300 miles per hour. In seconds, the pristine, dormant beauty of Mount St. Helens had destroyed 230 square miles of land and would continue to deposit debris for years afterward. How could something so beautiful cause so much devastation and destruction? Native American tribes of the Pacific Northwest were the first to experience Mount St. Helens eruptions and have many names for the mountain. The Puyallup tribe calls the mountain Luitlatkla, which means Lady of Fire, while other tribes call it Lualacluf, meaning Smoking Mountain. It wasn't until 1702 when European explorer Commander George Vancouver traveled the Puget Sound area that it received the name Mount St. Helens. From these accounts, we know that the volcano is one of the most active in the Cascade Range, and it has been for hundreds of years. Mount St. Helens lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a string of volcanoes and sites of seismic activity that circles the Pacific Ocean. This region is where 90% of all earthquakes occur, and where we find 3/4 of Earth's active volcanoes, including St. Helens. The first warning signs that the mountain was waking up came in early March, when small tremors began occurring in swarms below the volcano, and magnitude 4 earthquakes became a regular event. Frequent ash and steam eruptions fractured the top and sides of the mountain, 2 of which expanded outward to create what is known as the North Face Bulge. This bulge, or cryptodome, was constantly monitored as it became more and more conspicuous, growing 85 feet in only 20 days while viscous magma built up below the surface. During this time, people with homes near the volcano were advised to evacuate for their safety as the situation grew increasingly unstable. With such interesting and seemingly unprecedented activity near the mountain, volcanologists flocked to Vancouver to study the seismic patterns and test the soil near St. Helens. One such man was David A. Johnston, who had traveled around the world to study volcanoes and was nearby at the University of Washington at the time of the initial earthquakes. Johnston soon became a leader in the United States Geological Survey team involved with Mount St. Helens and was the first to report the eruption while manning an observation post 6 miles away from the mountain. His final words were, "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it," before the lateral blast from the volcano swept him away. A magnitude 5.1 earthquake about a mile below the volcano triggered the collapse of the unstable and weakened north face of the mountain, leading to the release of all the hydrothermal energy built up over years of inactivity. This was the lateral blast, which blew trees down like matchsticks and overtook the landslide caused by the earthquake. The Plinian column, or the plume of ash rising from the mountain, extended 20 kilometers into the air in less than 10 minutes, until it began to umbrella and deposit ash all around the Pacific Northwest and as far as Oklahoma. Traces of the ash were found all the way around the world and remained in the atmosphere for years after the eruption. The Plinian column lasted for 9 hours, during which pyroclastic flows raced towards Spirit Lake and to the North Fork of Toutle River. Later in the day, enormous lahars destroyed 7 bridges and traveled 17 miles, ejecting debris and ash into the Columbia River. 35 years later, Mount St. Helens is beautiful once again. Risen from the ashes of her destruction, she occasionally likes to remind us that she is awake, but for now remains a popular destination for hikers and explorers. Johnston Ridge Observatory, named for David Johnston, exhibits the geological history of the volcano, eyewitness accounts of the eruption, and the science of monitoring and recording volcanic activity, and is located near the site of Johnston's camp. It serves as a monument to the lives and land lost that day, and reminds us all that no matter how bad it gets, we can always recover and reach for a beautiful and bright future.